16 candidates are running in the 2025 University of Manitoba Students' Union general election to serve in one of the 8 community representative positions. Voting is set for March 6th to the 7th. The Manitoban had the chance to interview each candidate and inquire about their qualifications, goals, and visions for the Students' Union. Each candidate was provided with the 6 interview questions ahead of time via email. So I'm here with Ariana, who is seeking the position of Indigenous Students Representative in the upcoming Umsu annual general election. And so, as you know, we're asking each and every candidate 6 questions. The first question is, for those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
My name's Ariana. I'm a Swampy Cree woman from Nori House Cree Nation, located on Treaty 5 territory. I was born and raised in Nori House, and I moved to Winnipeg 2 years ago, for school. Currently I'm in my second year, and I will be in the College of Nursing this coming fall. Um,
Mhm. Thank you.
um, yeah, so that.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. And so the second question that we're asking each and every candidate is what makes you the ideal candidate for this position? So, I mean, in this position, you're not the only candidate. There's more than just one candidate. So what makes you in particular the ideal candidate for this role?
I believe I'm an ideal candidate for this position because I'm passionate about advocating for the Indigenous community, specifically the First Nations community, because I am First Nations and I grew up in my reservation and I have those experiences that guide me.
Thank you. And so the third question is, what is the main pillar of your platform?
Um, so the main pillars of my platform are that I plan to keep the Indigenous Leaders Gala going for the third year. And I also I plan to build a deep and meaningful connection with the Indigenous Students Association, as well as all the Indigenous reps on campus and all the faculties to further improve the experience of Indigenous students.
Thank you. And so the fourth question, which you kind of touched on earlier in some of your previous answers, but why are you running in this election? What reason or reasons have compelled you to come forward, put your name on the ballot, and seek public office?
I'm running for this position because I haven't had a good experience at the U of M as an Indigenous person and as a First Nations woman specifically. And my goal is to make sure that no one feels the way that I feel. I hope that no one feels the loneliness I've felt and the isolation that I've felt the past 2 years at the U of M.
Thank you. Our second last question is, how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? So if you were elected into this position a year from now when your position would be ending, how would you like to reflect back and define your term using 3 words?
Um, I would like it to be defined as community driven and empowering.
Mhm. Thank you. And the last question is, how would you like the UMSU Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? So if you're elected to this position, you'd be a board member, you'd likely be working with other board members. So collectively as a whole, the UMSU Board of Directors, the governing body of the Students' Union, how would you like that board to be represented using 3 words?
Mm, I hope the board of directors would be described as accountable, collaborative, and, and inclusive.
I'm here with Jonah, who is running in the upcoming Umsu annual general election for the Indigenous Students Representative. And so, Jonah, I will now ask you the six questions that we're asking all candidates. So,
hmm
first and foremost, for those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
Um, as I said before, I'm Jonah Harper. Um, I've always had trouble with these questions.
It's
So
all good. It's all good.
yeah. Basically, I'm on the debate club as a secretary, and I'm on the pre-law team as the Indigenous representative there. I guess as for like what motivates me, I like to like it's a big thing where I like to help people. And like the whole reason why I'm in university is because I want to graduate and go home, make it a better place there, do what I can. I like to make people laugh and like I think it's fun learning about people. So then those are like what motivates me basically. That's
Mhm,
what's kept me going this far.
mhm,
Also like I guess my family too. We're like obviously going from home my home community, which is like not even 5,000 people, so to
mhm,
suddenly the city alone, it's gotten a little lonely. And like it's nice to just call home, visit friends, whatever. So then,
mhm.
yeah, I'd say like even my community here helps drive me to like keep going in university.
Yeah. Thank you. The second question, again, that we're asking all and every candidate is what makes you the ideal candidate for this position in particular?
Okay. Overall, I don't think I'm the ideal candidate. That's like being completely honest. But I'd appreciate it if I'd appreciate the chance to be able to work for my community, to be able to give it my all. Like I'd say I'm a pretty good student. I've made it to honor roll. I made it to honor roll on my first year. I hope to say that I made it for this year too. Um I'd say that I know a lot of or I was in the Access program. That's a program where like it's mainly indigenous students for the first year. And I know like I'd say I'm pretty connected with my own community. Um I know that I'd hope that I'd be able to keep putting in the same amount of effort I've been putting in with pre-law and debate club. Cause like I've been putting in a lot of effort there, but I know I'd appreciate the I'd appreciate it more if I'd appreciate it more if I could put that energy towards my own community where I know that like yeah. So overall it's just I know I'm not the or I know I'm not the perfect candidate, but I know I'd really I'd love the chance to be able to give my put my energy towards them, my community.
The next one, again, that we're asking each and every candidate is what is the main pillar of your platform?
I had trouble understanding that question. Can you like help?
I guess really, if you are elected to serve as the representative for this position, what sort of the main point or the main concept that you sort of want to emphasize during your mandate? Like, is there a specific thing that you would like to emphasize during your term for this position, sort of something that you'd really like to see done, or something that you'd really like to bring to reality if elected into this position?
I'd say I'd want to see more inclusion because I've noticed that like not a lot of Indigenous students really come to either the Indigenous Students Assembly or do you know what I mean?
Mhm,
Or sorry, like not a lot of Indigenous students really come to the Indigenous Students Assembly, and I'd also like to be able to like see more people interact with each other, basically.
mhm. Thank you. The next question, which I think you kind of touched on it a bit, but we're asking each candidate this question directly, is why are you running in this election?
Why am I running?
Mhm. What's compelling you to seek this
Oh,
position? Why do you want to go for this position?
well, it started off with like I just wanted to throw my name in because I heard that there wasn't really that much people running, so I thought that I should throw my name in just in case. And then overall, I thought running would be just a good chance for me to like be more involved with Umsu and like my own community. I thought like it'd be nice to be able to listen and talk to people, represent them. And yeah, it sounded like a lot of work from what I heard. It sounded like a lot of work from what I heard coming from Michaela. And honestly, like yeah, like Michaela made it seem like it was a lot of work, and it sounded like something I wanted to do and I wanted to be able to do for my own community.
Thank you. The second last question is how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? If you're elected into this position, what 3 words would you like to be used that would define your term, your mandate with UMSU?
Mhm. Um, I guess as I said before, like inclusion, um, I guess comfort, because I don't know. I feel like a lot of indigenous people are like awkward in the city, so I know that providing that comfort would be a good thing to see, or like would be nice to have, because I know that like during my first year, I was like walking around, I was a little jumpy. Yeah, so like if having that comfort would be nice to have for at least newer students so that they could get comfortable with being in the city. And then I guess my third one would also be like fun because I want it to be like a good time to look back on.
Thank you. The last question here is somewhat similar in a sense, but how would you like the UMSU Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? Evidently, when you'd be elected as a representative on the board, you'd be working with other board members. So collectively as a whole, how would you like the UMSU Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words?
This was another question I had trouble understanding, so then
Mm.
you basically like helped me with that just now. So how would I need to read the question again? I got it right here. How would
I could restate it. How would you like the UMSU Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? If elected to this position, pardon me, you'll be working with other board members. And at the end of the year, when everything's said and done, how would you like people to remember this UMSU Board of Directors using 3 words? So it's kind of similar to the previous question, but that was more reflecting just on your term, how you would like your term to be defined in 3 words. But how would you like the UMSU Board of Directors as a whole to be defined in 3 words? Because evidently there'll be there'll be a certain level of collaboration that would be involved with all the other UMSU directors.
um I would like the UMSU board of directors to be remembered as efficient because I know that like we've had lots of problems with that before. I'd say unproblematic or even like boring even because you always hear too much about how or there's always problems I'm hearing with the UMSU board where it's just like it's always like random little things. So then I like it if it was just like if you'd be able to like look at them and realize that oh yeah they're doing their job. As for the third word, Christian. Huh. How would I like the third word? What's the third?
It's all good. You can leave it at two if you'd like.
Yeah.
Evidently there's there's I understand that there's lots of emotions and thoughts with the board of directors. So I understand the sentiments that were coming there. Um,
Well, I'd
mhm,
like it if they were welcoming.
mhm.
Just because, like, once again, there's the problem with people not knowing or like people coming to the university being lost. So then I'd like it if we were able to like help out more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm here with Andrew, who's running for the position of International Students Representative in the upcoming UMSU annual general election. And so we're asking each and every candidate the same 6 questions. And so the first question is, for those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
Hey, I'm Andriko Chiho. I'm here to make sure every international student feels supported and at home. As an international student from Ukraine, I know how hard it can be to adjust to a new place. My passion is creating a space where we all feel connected. Local impact starts with the global voices. It's what I believe in. When we come together, we can make real change.
Thank you. And so the second question we have for each candidate is, what makes you in particular the ideal candidate for this position?
Why me? Because I understand what international students need. I've experienced the challenges of studying in a new country, and I'm here to listen and act on what we need. Um, my slogan, United by Diversity, isn't just a slogan. It means celebrating our differences and ensuring every voice is heard. I'll bring the energy to your support and make sure we are all represented.
Thank you. And our third question is, what is the main pillar of your platform in this election?
I would say my main focus is building a stronger, more supportive community for international students. This includes creating events, mentorship programs, different kind of workshops, and improving overall student life. It's about making sure we are all of us are comfortable and a part of community.
Thank you. And why are you running in this election? What reason or reasons have compelled you to step forward and to place your name on a ballot and seek public office?
Um, I'm running because I personally feel that international students deserve better support. We need better connections, more opportunities to get involved, and a space where everyone is heard. You know what? United by diversity means where we all work together, we're stronger, and that's what I want to bring to the table.
Thank you. And our second last question here is, how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? So if you were elected into this position, right, a year from now, when your term is
Mhm.
over, reflecting back on your term, looking back on your mandate, what 3 words would you like to describe your term and your time with UMSU?
I would say inclusive, supportive, and action-oriented. I want my term to focus on creating an environment where all students feel included and actively engaged in creating positive charge.
Thank you. And our last question, which is kind of similar, is how would you like the UMSU Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? So if you were elected into this position, you would be a board member, right? So the
Mhm.
UMSU Board of Directors is composed of many, many board members. So collectively as a whole, that governing body that represents the students, the UMSU Board of Directors, what 3 words would you like to exemplify or represent that board, that governing board?
Yeah, I just would like to add that we are all the part of a huge organization. So my answer is going to be collaborative, innovative, and impactful. The UMSU board should work together to bring fresh ideas to the table, collaborate effectively, and create meaningful impact for students.
So I'm here with Fee, who's running for the position of International Students Rep in the upcoming annual UMSU general election. And Fee, as you know, we're asking each and every candidate the same 6 questions. The first question is, for those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
Oh, this is a tough one. Okay, I'm a very simple person. I'm an international student, and I would like to describe myself as a very inquisitive person.
I love finding out new things and little nuances about people, their culture, their backgrounds, where they come from, their likes and dislikes. I'm also a psychology student, so that kind of goes hand in hand. My passions, well, as a person, my passions lie in books and in reading and music. But as an international students representative, my passions lie in promoting and advocating for all the available programs that international students have on campus, all the resources, all the information that campus provides, and making sure that all of this reaches the right kind of people so that everybody has access to it and everybody can reach their right potential.
Thank you. And our second question that we're asking each and every candidate is, what makes you the ideal candidate for this position? So evidently there's more than just one candidate running for this position. So we have to ask, what makes you in particular the ideal candidate for this position?
Well, for one, I'm an international student myself, and I have I've attended multiple events on campus. I've had a lot of interactions with student groups and student clubs and community gatherings, and I've spent a lot of those meeting not only meeting and getting to know new people, but also learning what matters most to them, what about campus and as an international students are the difficulties that they face or things that they say as maybe this bothers me a little, or this is one thing I absolutely love about campus as an international student. So I want to make sure I've had a lot of time with all of these people. I've gathered a lot of information, and what makes me ideal is my experience and with people and truly being a part of campus that I've felt lost, but I've also been able to find my path. So I want to be able to help people find their path the way I did.
Thank you. And our third question is, what is the main pillar of your platform?
Information. So as I've already mentioned, information is a great part of being a student on campus, right? So as mentioned, there are a lot of programs, a lot of student groups, community offices, and so much that campus offers as international students. You just need to know who to reach out to. What are the places or programs that are just right for you? So my main aim, or my pillar, the most important pillar of my campaigning, will be providing this information and sort of making it more streamlined so it's more accessible to everyone.
Thank you. The fourth question is, why are you running in this election? What reason or reasons, plural, have motivated or compelled you to step forward, place your name on a ballot, and seek public office?
So as an international student, again, I know I'm sounding like a broken record saying this, but as an international student, I know the difficulties that navigating university can bring you, the sheer kind of panic when you realize you have got to do things outside of your academics as well. I know how important that is and how panic inducing that can be, not knowing who to reach out to, or you need the support, but you're not sure who to reach out to. That is my main aim. I want to build a better connected student body.
Thank you. Our second last question is, how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? So if you are elected into this position a year down the road, when your term would be nearing its end, if you were to sit down, reflect back on your term with Umsu in this position, what 3 words would you like to define that term?
Informative, collaborative, and impactful.
Thank you. And the last question, which is kind of similar, would be, how would you like the Umsu Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? So again, if you are elected into this position, you'd be a board member, you'd be working with other board members, collectively as a whole, the Umsu Board of Directors, that governing body of the Students' Union. How would you like that body, that group, to be defined using 3 words?
Representative, accountable, and action-oriented.
So I'm here with Matthews, who's running for the position of International Students Rep in the upcoming Umsu annual general election. And so as you know, we're asking each and every candidate 6 questions. The first question is, for those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
Okay. So, hi, hello, everyone. I thank Manitoban, especially Milan Lukes, for giving me this opportunity on this Sunday morning. Thank you very much again. Really appreciate it. My name is Mahfuzul Haq. I'm an international student from Bangladesh. I've started my journey in Manitoba, Canada in 2022 through a program called ICM, International College of Manitoba. So I transferred to University of Manitoba in 2023. And since then, I have a great experience of this campus community, and I was very interested in community rebuilding, friendship, knowing new peoples, leadership, advocacy. One of my what things motivates me is helping each other, because here we are all those who belong to international student community. They understand that you left your parents, you left your family, and you left your friends. So this is a new country and new environment. So to cope up with the new culture and the whole environment, we have to be together, and support. We all of us need supports. So I was one of the luckiest person who had support from different people, elders, seniors, academics. So I want to share my experience with all the international student community, and I want to work for the betterment of this community and for the whole university in general. Some things which passionate me is includes uh, reading books and involved with different community and cultural programs, and spending time with myself.
Mhm. Thank you.
Thank
And so
you.
the second question that we're asking each and every candidate is, what makes you in particular the ideal candidate for this position?
Yeah, thank you very much. For this, I have to appreciate AMSU Student Union of our University of Manitoba. So it was AMSU positions are really leadership positions. And I saw the posters when they were advertising for asking people for candidacy, asking people if they want to run. They nicely wrote on the posters, "Student leaders, are you interested?" Something like this. So I appreciate all of the candidates who are running this year, all the 34 candidates, because running is a big step, and you have to come forward to the student community and whole campus. You have to uh, propose your agendas. You have to ask for votes. So it's a great experience for those. Uh, I would say those are public positions. Now after you run and you being selected or elected. Uh, Now you are working for all, so you need some sort of qualities, good qualities. And since I am doing political studies, I'm planning to major in political studies. I am involved with different mentors. They told me you should work on some qualities long ago, and I'm working on developing these qualities after having reflection on my past experience and everything. I feel I am a suitable candidate to be as an international student rep in the University of Manitoba. And the few leadership roles, like you have to be excellent in communication. I think I'm very good at making friends with new people. You have to understand, you have to empathize. We had experience, we last couple years in this world, you have lots of upside down, war and everything. I have many friends from Middle East. They have first-hand experience. So in the Ukraine, Russia as well. Even many things happen back home, but you are studying here. So you suffer because your family or your loving one is suffering back home. And I was involved with those chapters. I was involved with those events. So I think if I get an opportunity as a student leader, I want to be beneficial for the community, and I would love to be so. Thank you.
Thank you. And so our third question is, if elected, well, currently right now as a candidate, what is the main pillar of your platform that you're running on here?
So the international community representative, if after got elected, automatically become ICC president. So ICC stands for like International Student Council.
Mhm.
So ISC, sorry, which is in Helen Glass sector. So they did good jobs. They are working past community. I know both the past presidents, but I felt there are lack of involvement. I felt there is lack of inclusivity. There there should be more programs, workshops, events which will benefit the community, which are international students. We need more workshops on immigration, on job, and helping and academic things. They did their part, and I appreciate for their time and effort. But I think we need more change here. So my platform will be empowering through involvement. I want everyone to like you see the international student community. Uh, if I'm not wrong, it's 3 to 5,000 numbers. But the involvement are not like this. It's very less, couple hundreds, very few. So I would work on improving uh, improvement by involvement,
Mhm.
and that is my priority.
Thank you. And the next question that we're asking each candidate is, why are you running in this election? What reason or reasons have compelled you to step up, put your name on the ballot, and run for public office?
Yeah. So leadership things I used to have. So I told you in this interview, I used to be a student of ICM, International College of Manitoba. So I used to be a student leader, and then I got promotion student leader manager. I worked there for 1.5 years, and all of the students are international students. So I had experience, first-hand experience working with them, working for them, having trying to develop workshops for them. And then after coming here, I'm involved with different groups, different community groups, and I'm an executive member of University of Manitoba Muslim Student Association. So those things, those involvement, I think, as I discussed, as I told you, that I am a person who likes to be involved, who likes to be with the community. So having said that, when I noticed that we need more things, we need more help, but we have resources available. If you see, we have spiritual care center in the university, we have mental health, different section for mental health, we have international center which helps international students with the immigration issues as well. We have career services, we have most of the resources, we have academic learning center, but how much the students are getting benefited, I think there is a problem with linkage. I think we need more advocacy. We need more promotion in media stuff, so we can connect the students or the all the campus who needs to use them. So those things and my leadership past experiences and involvement with the community, and I felt many of my well wishers came to me and say, "You should run for AMSU. You should be involved. You should try. Even if I don't get elected this time, I'll be
Mhm.
still involved with different committees with AMSU, and I'll try to help my campus and all the Manitobans."
Thank you. And our second last question here is, how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? So if you are elected into this position a year from now, when your term would be coming to a close, if you were to reflect back and think back on your term with UMSU, what 3 words would you like to define your term and mandate with UMSU?
I would say I would be welcoming. Number one, I would make my time welcoming for all international students throughout the world. And UM is a diverse community. You have students from throughout the world. I will ensure that. Second will be we will be active. My term, if I got elected, my team will be active, and we will ensure we are doing things which are beneficial and which are necessary for students. And the last one will be impactful. We'll do things that will be that will make impact on their life, on their career, and on their well-being. These
Mhm.
three words can describe my term.
Thank you. And our last question here, our sixth and final question, is how would you like the UMSU Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? So again, if you were elected into this position, the UMSU Board of Directors, which you'd be a board member, you'd be working with other board members, collectively, the UMSU Board of Directors, that governing body, how would you like that governing body of the union to be defined in 3 words?
The first thing I would say, because the AMSU is representing the students and student interest, they have to be transparent. They have to be transparent with the students, with throughout the campus, that they are doing their job and they are not being lazy or being feared to do the right thing.
Mhm.
So they has to be very transparent. This is the first thing I will say. Second, they have to be, as I said, student oriented. So they should bring the things that will benefit the students, not the other person, or they will not want to benefit themselves, because it's unfortunately when you are in leadership positions, you have to make tough decisions, and decisions will affect the whole community. So we should work on making decisions and bringing issues that will be beneficial for students. My third, I would say, the board of directors should be uh, the same thing for my team. It should be inclusive and welcoming. Like they have to be inclusive. Uh, there shouldn't be. I would not like to see all of them are racialized, or all of them are white, or all of them are, suppose you understand what I'm saying. There
Mhm.
should be some balance, and the voice of every member should be welcome.
So I'm here with Sumitra, who's running for the position of International Students Representative in the upcoming UMSU annual general election. And so the 6 candidates, there's 6 questions that we're asking each and every candidate. And the first question is, for those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
So my name is Soumitra Saran. I'm a second year international student studying in the Faculty of Science. I am from India, and my passion is that I like to code a lot. I like to watch movies, specifically political thrillers and um, superhero movies like Marvel movies or DC movies. And I also love to read books as well as listen to some rap music because it's vibey and stuff. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. And so the second question is, what makes you the ideal candidate for this position?
So, what makes me the ideal candidate for this position is that I'm a passionate advocate of cultural unity, and I would like to create a holistic and welcoming environment for all the international students on campus and contribute my part towards building a unified community, because I feel that in this university there are a lot of students from around the world, from global cultures who have their own customs, and I would like to unify them under one umbrella so that they learn about each other's culture and also build a sort of respect to each other and their respective cultures.
Thank you. And so the third question that we're asking each and every candidate is, what is the main pillar of your platform?
So the main pillar of my platform is cultural unity, and I follow a concept which we call in India known as Vasudev Kutumbakam, which means the whole world is my family. So this concept is the pillar of what I'm building, what I'm planning to build towards when, if and when I'm elected as the international student representative, because I feel that getting everyone to contribute to their own community outside of their work, outside of the place where they live in, because everyone is not at their home right now. They're in international they're an international student, they're outside their home country. So everyone needs to look after each other, and they also need to contribute to each other so that no one feels left out outside, and they don't get homesick and all of those stuff. So yeah, that's
Thank
what.
you. Our next question is, why are you running in this election? What reason or reasons have motivated you to put your name on the ballot and seek public office?
So the reason that I'm running for this position is that I would like to expand on the notion of cultural unity as a whole concept. And I feel that I can build on the work that was done by the previous team, and I can take it a notch up further. And because I believe that if you try to get into something, you should devote yourself into it, and then you should work to make it even better than what it was. That's what I am to do when I join as the international student representative. And yeah, so that's basically it. I think that my problem solving skills and my leadership qualities, and because I think I'm a born leader and I can lead the students into doing what they do best and build a whole community for international students on campus.
Thank you. And our second last question here is, how would you like your term to be defined in three words? So if you were elected to this position a year from now, at the end of your term, if you were elected, reflecting back on your term, what 3 words would you like to define or exemplify your term?
So the 3 words I would like to use to define my term would be progressive, impactful, and enjoyably fun. Those are the
Thank
3 words.
you. And our last question, which is somewhat similar, would be, how would you like the UMSU Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? So if you were elected to this position, you would be a board member. You'd likely be working with other board members. So collectively, the board there, the UMSU Board of Governors, a year from now, with you at the table, how would you like the UMSU Board of Governors to be defined?
So I would like them to be defined as trailblazers, because I feel that if they lead into what they're doing, they will for sure build a really good rapport among the students.
Mhm.
And then I would also like them to be student focused, fully student
Mhm.
focused, so that they so that all the students feel heard, and their issues are being taken care of by every member of the UMSU board. And I would also want us as a collective UMSU board to be transparent, so that because transparency would help everyone know what we're doing and what we're not doing. So that's how I would like to define the UMSU in 3 words.
So I'm here with Ayush, who is running for the 2S LGBTQIA plus position in the upcoming UMSU annual general election. And I understand that you're acclaimed in the sense that there is no other candidate running against you. But nonetheless, we still will be asking the same 6 questions that we're asking each and every candidate, so that students have a better idea about the upcoming representation that they'll be receiving with the UMSU Board of Directors. So the first question that we're asking each candidate is, for those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
Okay, well, thank you so much for the question. My name is Ayush, and currently I'm studying computer science at the U of M. Uh, in terms of passions, I'd say one of my biggest passions would be working with children. I've worked with children throughout my jobs as being throughout being a childcare assistant and also working as a math teacher assistant. And so honestly, it's so enjoyable being able to work with children. I think seeing the growth of children is just it's so amazing. It's so enjoyable and so like inspiring almost to see how fast and how capable children are of learning given the, I guess, ideal circumstances. And so that's one part that I really just that I find really meaningful. And also, another really big part of my life is music. I actually play in the University of Manitoba's concert band, and just the sense of community that you just get to have is just super meaningful. It's so nice to be able to just perform with people and kind of have the same goal of wanting to kind of just make music and kind of be together doing something that we all enjoy. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I
Thank you.
think yeah, music's definitely one big part.
Excellent. Our second question here for each and every candidate is, what makes you in particular the ideal candidate for this position? Now, I know in your case, you are the only candidate for this position, but in fairness, we're asking this to each and every candidate. So what makes you the ideal candidate for this role?
I feel like someone that can take up any sort of like leader role needs to be someone that has to like be able to take criticism and like feedback like really well, especially when you're so involved with the community. And so I think being able to kind of assume that there are like being confident in yourself is important, but also assuming that there are other people that also have, you know, big voices and big like things that they can also kind of contribute is I think really important. And so not only being locked in on what I necessarily think is right, but also being open to what other people have to say.
Thank you. Our third question is, what is the main pillar of your platform?
Okay, I love this question. I think not think. My main kind of overarching thing that I want to do this year is kind of, or I guess the main thing that I'm asking myself is how can I maximize community involvement? I think on campus, I wouldn't say a deficit, but I feel like I don't necessarily feel any like large overly powering sense of community in terms of the LGBTQ community. Like I know there are like a couple like events that are hosted, but I think a large part of what happens is kind of like really focused on pride. And I feel like pride is really just one day or like 1 month of the year. And I feel like we should kind of really be kind of doing more than just focusing on pride, you know? Like I think there's so many queer students on campus. And so I think being able to kind of like give queer students a safe place and a nice community that they can rely on throughout the year. And so I kind of want to do this by, you know, engaging queer students in like fun and engaging activities. Like, you know, queer people, they got a lot of different interests of their own. So like, you know, maybe some sort of like picnic would be nice, or like, you know, even like laser tag, like some sort of like fun events that like bring people that will bring queer people together. I think that's kind of my main thing that I want to do this year is more engaging activities that can bring queer people together.
Thank you. Our fourth question is, why are you running in this election? What reason or reasons have compelled you to put your name on a ballot and seek public office?
Okay, I also really like this question. I think it comes from a place of myself not necessarily finding, not necessarily finding like an overly compelling sense of like queer community on campus. And so if I don't necessarily feel that, like I'm privileged to have queer friends and have like a sense of community by myself, but there are a lot of international students and like a lot of people that come from a lot of different places that don't necessarily have that foundation of queer community. And so I really want to be able to kind of like expand this sense of queer community so that, you know, it's very inclusive and like people have a sense of community that they can depend on. And so yeah, I think that's really what I'm trying to what I think why I'm running for this is because I really do want to see other queer people as well that don't necessarily have the community or the don't feel the essence of a queer community so that they can also feel one.
Thank you. And so our second last question here is, how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? So a year from now in this position, you know, a year, if we look back and we're reflecting on your term, what 3 words would you like to be used to define your term with this position with Umsu?
I would like it to be defined as engaging. So kind of like I want people to really walk out of it and feel like they were really a part of the community, you know? So engaging, welcoming. I really hope that I can bring people that wouldn't necessarily find themselves to be in a place like this to kind of like be a part of it. And lastly is fun. Like I really hope that people can like walk out of this and be like, hey, like I had a good time. Like this was like really good. really enjoyable experience. And just, like, I think that's something that I feel like we need to maybe emphasize a little more on, especially given like how busy people are. And just, sometimes we just need a space to have fun.
Yeah, thank you. And our last question here, which is kind of similar, would be how would you like the UMSU Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? So if you do get this position, you'll be a board member. You'll likely be working with other board members. So collectively as a whole, the UMSU Board of Directors, that governing body, what 3 words would you like to be utilized to define that governing body?
I would like to define it with communicative. So yeah, transparent. I think that's really important. Being able to kind of, not be, like be clear on what we want as a team,
Mhm.
and also hardworking. I think if we all work hard together, I think we can achieve what we're looking for.
Okay, so I'm here with Lita, who's running for the position of the Women's Community Representative on UMSU in the upcoming UMSU annual general election. And so the 6 questions that we're asking each and every candidate, the first one is, for those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions, and what motivates you?
Great question to start off. So my name is Lita Goulet. I'm a third-year psychology major with a minor in women and gender studies. I am deeply passionate about advocacy, supporting others, and continuous self-improvement, both personally and professionally. My dream career in school psychology demands compassion and strong advocacy. So I'm constantly working toward bettering myself to make a meaningful impact. I draw motivation from my family and my lived experiences. My brother, who is autistic, and my lifelong best friend has shaped the person I am today and the professional that I aspire to be. I am also motivated by my younger self, the version of me who faced challenges but persevered to reach where I am now. Her resilience fuels my determination to keep striving for growth and to support others on their journeys.
Thank you, Lita. Our second question here is, what makes you the ideal candidate for this position?
I believe I am the ideal candidate for this position because of my unwavering commitment, compassion, and dedication to advocacy. I've now volunteered over 180 hours at the Women's Center, first as a key holder and now as an executive member. So, in this role, I've demonstrated my reliability by attending all events for the Women's Center, all team meetings, and my mandatory office hours, while consistently stepping up when needed to support our team. Beyond my work with the Women's Center, I'm actively involved in broader campus initiatives. This would be volunteering for Welcome and Orientation Day. I believe supporting our first year students is really important because it can be a very scary time for students coming into university. As well, I have attended student-led conferences to expand my knowledge and participated in other events hosted by student groups, always trying to make new connections on campus. So my engagement in student life reflects my passion for fostering inclusive and supportive spaces, which I believe makes me a strong candidate for this role.
Thank you. Our third question is, what is the main pillar of your platform?
So my main pillar is going to be a bit different, I think, than other pillars for other candidates, but it is fueled by anger. So an emotion that, especially in feminist spaces, female-run spaces, that has been long dismissed as negative. We have seen so many great outcomes, so many great movements that have been fueled by anger. And my anger has transformed into ambition and resurgence. So this anger drives me to fight for tangible improvements on our campus. So I want to commit to ensuring that no female identifying student has to walk into a bathroom only to find an empty menstrual product dispenser. I want every student to know that I am deeply dedicated to being a strong and unwavering voice for women on our campus. My advocacy isn't just about addressing the issue, but making sure that we make real lasting change.
Mhm. Thank you. Our fourth question is, why are you running in this election? What's the reason or the reasons that have compelled you to put your name on the ballot?
Yeah, so I'm running in this upcoming election to become the women's representative because I believe in creating change, and to make it happen, you have to be a part of it. So this past November, I began attending the UMSU Board of Directors meetings. Um, my first one I had attended because I was concerned about the repeated violence that was happening on our campus. And I felt very disappointed leaving that meeting because the motion that was put forward to address the violence on our campus had failed. So that moment to me reinforced how crucial it is to be a part of the process if you want to see change happen. So above all, I commit to creating a safer campus for women. No student should feel unsafe in spaces where they learn, work, and live. I want to ensure that our campus prioritizes well-being of female identifying students by taking real steps to address gender-based violence and safety concerns for all students. I want to help build a board that listens, stands up for students, and holds stakeholders accountable in these positions.
Thank you. Our second last question is the following. How would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? So if elected to this position, once it's all over a year from now, looking back on your term, what 3 words would you like to define your term with UMSU?
Yeah, so the 3 words that I chose are efficient, loud, and supportive. So these 3 words not only define the term that I hope to serve, but also reflect who I am as a person. So when I witness something unjust, I refuse to stay silent, and I use my voice with passion and purpose. I don't let important issues get swept under the rug, and I believe that kind of determination is crucial in a student leadership role like this. As women's representative, I will bring compassion and empathy to the position, ensuring that every student who comes forward, especially with deeply personal concerns, feels heard, supported, and valued. Additionally, I've had the privilege of learning from strong role models who have led with efficiency, and I plan to carry that same level of dedication and organization into my term. I want my time in this role to be defined by action, advocacy, and support for the women on our campus.
Thank you, Leader. The last question, which is somewhat similar, is
Yeah.
how would you like the UMSU Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? So evidently, if elected to this position, there'd be a certain level of collaboration. You'd have to, perhaps work with other board of directors. So collectively, as a whole, the UMSU Board of Directors, what 3 words would you like to define that governing body?
So the 3 words that I chose to define this body is effective, punctual, and committed. So over the past year, many students have voiced concerns to me about what exactly does the UMSU Board of Directors do for the student body. So if given the privilege to serve on the board next year, I want us to come together as an effective voice for students, one that creates real change. Effectiveness means not just holding a position but actively working to complete tasks and prioritize what matters most to students. Punctuality also reflects accountability. So, by showing up prepared and on time, we will demonstrate that the board is dedicated to working hard for UMSU. Finally, commitment is at the core. So, being on the board of directors is not just a stepping stone, it is a responsibility that is trusted to us by students who expect action, not just words. So I'm committed to making this position one that truly serves and uplifts student life on our campus using these 3 words.
So I'm here with Shukrati, who is one of the candidates running for the Women's Community Rep in the upcoming annual UMSU general election. And so the first question of the 6 questions that we're asking each and every candidate is for those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
Who am I? Okay, so I'll start from I am like half Indian and half Indonesian, and I'm studying computer science. And I'm passionate about multiple stuff. Like I have been in athletic. Into running. I love guitar. if it comes to music. Like I have give some exams and stuff for that. So that's one of my passion. I love to draw. I love to draw. I haven't learned drawing, but I love to sketch and I love to paint and I love to write also. Writing is one of my, one of the stuff. Like I love to write quotes and poetries. I'm into that, and I love to motivate people. Like I love to give TED Talks whenever I get a chance to.
Thank you. And so the second question we're asking each candidate is what makes you in particular the ideal candidate for this position?
Okay, ideal candidate. So I feel like I'm I feel like I deserve this position because I want to really stand up for women. Because I really want to give free spaces to women. I really want to provide menstrual products in each and every washroom in our university. And moreover, I want to provide the security because after multiple incidents which has taken place in university in the campus, it has made a stereotype in women's mind that okay, campus is not that safe enough, especially during the evening time and stuff, because something might have happened just right outside Umsu Center. So that's what I want to work on. Like I want to have the power. I want to fight for the power so I can at least do something for those women. At least I can, I want to be the voice of each and every woman. I want to stand up for them and all of their complaints regarding women. Because generally last year when I have been like a VP of finance in Women's Center itself. So when some things took place, I was just like, so I went like so much in like, I was traumatized with whatever happened. And I was like, if for example, if this thing happened to me, what am I gonna do? Like, who I'm gonna reach out to. So I want to be that person for each and every woman that whatever happens to them in campus, they come and reach out to me and I can do something about it. I just don't want to be like, I'm there for you because they have their family members, they have their friends for that. I want to work upon it. I want to make them feel safe.
Thank
That's
you. And so our third question we're asking each candidate is what is the main pillar of your platform?
what do you mean by that? Like,
basically what's the central theme or the central goal that you'd really like to accomplish if you're elected to this position? What's the main theme or the main event or the main change that you'd like to sort of keep at the forefront of your mandate? I guess the one thing that really really drives you that you'd like to see changed or continued or kept the same in this position.
I wanna, first thing, I really wanna make campus safe for women, tunnels and all those places. Second, I feel like I wanna finish the biasness because in some categories, like in some majors particularly, we have male dominance. So I don't want females to feel like, okay, we have this male dominance in these measures. Like, so that's what I want from this position. And secondly, I just want to stand up for all of them because I just imagine like being like, the person who goes through stuff and it's a lot to take in. And especially when university does not do anything about it, it actually hurts. So I want to do something about it. At least something. Just want to stand up for people. I want to be there for them when no one is there for them. I just want to be there. Yeah.
Thank you. And so our fourth question is, you kind of already touched on this in some of the previous answers, but why are you running in this election? What specific reason or reasons have compelled you to put your name on the ballot and seek public office?
Okay. How shall I come up with a different answer now?
Well, if you want, you could state, you could sort of briefly restate it if the answer is, related to a previous answer that you already gave. But we were asking each and every candidate that specific question.
Okay, yeah, sure, I can answer that. Mm, like being part of the this year, being part of the executive team member in Women's Center, it made me feel like we had very much missing points somewhere. and I feel like I really wanted to cover them up, because I feel like if somebody can't stand up, if a woman representative can't support their own team members at one point, I feel like then they can't support the whole campus women, right? Like so I want to make it a space where each and every woman feel free to share their own ideas, to share who they are. Like, because many people are insecure. I'm also insecure of, like, going the elections, okay, what people are gonna think about me and stuff. So I want to make it so free space for women that they can just let it out without thinking about male domination, without thinking about, okay, am I safe over here or not, without thinking about anyone is judging me or not, like making them feel like themselves. I want to have like more like networking events, especially for the women, because generally in all the clubs usually people do these normal events, like normal events like Valentine's Day, bracelet making, and all, pumpkin night and Halloween night and all those stuff. So I don't want to do only the events, I want to work on the real thing, because each and every club is doing all this stuff. So I feel like if my club does not only focus on the events and actually focus on the what the main idea is, what people are actually going through is, and what the change has to be made. So I want to work on the real change, I don't want to go around the bush and stuff.
Thank you. And so our second last question here is, how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? So if you are elected into this position a year from now, when your term is about to end, when it's about to become over, if you were to reflect back on the past and you were to look over your term that had just occurred, what 3 words would you like to define your term and your time with UMSU in this position? They can be adjectives, or they can be, just this 3 words that you'd like to define your term.
Give me a moment.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Yeah. um okay. um Leadership.
Mhm.
Leadership. Expressive. Leadership. And comfort.
Mhm. Thank
I'll
you.
define it as that. Yeah.
And so the last question, it's somewhat similar, but it more just to get a bigger picture here. So how would you like the UMSU Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? So if you are elected to this position, you will be a board member. There will be other board members on the UMSU Board of Directors, evidently. So collectively as a whole, that governing body, the UMSU Board, that's responsible for really, you know, dictating how events and stances are taken for undergraduate students. How would you like that board to be defined using 3 words?
Power.
Mm-hmm.
Change. And power, change, and what can I say?
And if you like, we could just leave it at that. If those 2 words, if you think those 2 words exemplify, exactly how you'd like the board to be defined, like that's more than fine there.
I'm so sorry. I was
Yeah,
just
no, it's good.
prepared. I was like thinking at the spot, like what to
No,
say.
it's totally good. Those are definitely, big terms that other candidates have stated as well. You're definitely not the only candidate as well that certainly thinks those adjectives should be used to describe the board in the future. I'm here with Gurminder, who is running for the position of Accessibility Students Rep on UMSU, who is actually the only candidate running unopposed in this race. And Gurminder, our first question that we're asking each and every candidate is, for those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
As I stated before, my name is Gurminder and I am a second year student studying Comp Sci and Stats. My hobbies are to read books and sometimes write poetry as well. I really like to write poetry, which like transcends my life. It's more about what's happening right now in my life, what challenges I'm facing. So it's kind of my, how should I say that? It's kind of my like therapy kind of thing. And my passion is to crunch numbers because I study stats. Uh, or another passion is to talk to people. I really like to talk to people. What I believe is that the more people you talk to, the more experiences you get because everyone has their unique experiences, and having more experiences just makes your life more fulfilling. And what motivates me is that every day I get to wake up, I get to eat good food, I get to drink good quality coffee, and I get to talk to a lot of people. And this is also my motive that I will, after getting this position, I will be able to talk to a lot more people than I'm talking right now, and I will be able to help a lot more people by talking. You know.
Sounds good. And our second question here is, what makes you the ideal candidate for this position? Now, evidently, you're the only candidate that has successfully registered for this position, but nonetheless, we're still asking these questions to each and every candidate. So what makes you the ideal candidate for this position?
I believe I'm the ideal candidate because I have worked with the current accessibility team and I have seen incredible progress made through the last year, and I want to carry forward that progress. Having that experience, I know what accessibility needs are, and I know what my goals will be for the next term. The main like goal for this year was to create an accessibility lounge, but we were not able to. So this will be my first motive to go and create an accessibility lounge for accessibility students, which will be an inclusive and safe space for them to come, hang out, recharge, and make good connections with other accessibility students. But it will be open to everyone as well.
Thank you. The third question would be, what is the main pillar of your platform? I know you talked about, I think the first thing in your mandate that you stated that you'd like to work towards is the accessibility lounge. So I don't know if that's the main pillar of your platform, but what is sort of the central thing that you would like to really accomplish, during your term?
Well, I said before that lounge is one of my priorities, but my another priority is that first year students should know about accessibility information because when I was a first year student, I had no idea what accessibility was, what it meant, what services I could avail. So I want to do something, maybe like add some clause to the first year guide or some information sessions for first year students, both domestic and international, so that they can know about accessibility services from the day one.
Thanks. And the fourth question here, which you kind of touched on, is why are you running in this election? What reason or reasons has compelled you to put your name on the ballot?
As I mentioned before, I am in the current accessibility team, and being part of that team, I realized that there are a lot of people belong to the accessibility community who don't have any voice in university. They there's a kind of stigma that accessibility is just disability, which is not true. Accessibility is a wide spectrum of um, like special needs, I would say. So I believe that even I belong to the accessibility community. So I believe that being in the current team, I know what challenges this community face, what needs they have, and I want to carry forward the previous team's progress, and I want to add my insights to that as well.
Thank you. Our second last question here is, how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? So when you, assume this position, a year from now, reflecting back, what 3 words would you like to define your term?
That would be impactful, transparent, and inclusive.
Thank you. And our last question, kind of similar. How would you like the Umsu board of directors to be defined using 3 words? Evidently, there'll most likely be a certain level of collaboration that will be involved with all these other board of directors. So as a whole, collectively, the Umsu Board of Directors, how would you like them to be defined in 3 words?
That would be student-centric, transparent, and maybe like more they I'm not sure if this is the right word, but I want them to be more inclusive for other uh, other communities as well, because we kind of faced a lot of issues in BOD as well this year. So I want them to be, transparent about what they are, Im- and it should be student centric. More power should be given to students rather than uh, the the executives, because the executives are over there representing students, and they are not the individual people over there. They are elected by people. And third would be what was that word? Uh, I can't remember. Oh, sorry. I just skipped my mind.
No, it's good. I think we got the 3 words there. And
Okay.
the I understand that those sentiments are shared by other candidates as well. So I'm here with Ganur, who is the candidate for the mature and part-time students rep position. He's actually the only candidate running for this position and is therefore acclaimed. And so, Ganur, we're asking each and every candidate 6 questions, as I mentioned earlier. The first question is as follows. For those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
Okay, so my name is Gurnor Singh Arora, and I'm a Bachelor of Commerce honors student at Asper School of Business, majoring in supply chain management and business analytics. And I'm passionate about fostering inclusive communities where all students, regardless of their background and schedule, feel supported and heard. And throughout my academic and professional journey, I have worked in roles that require problem solving, leadership, and advocacy. My experience in logistics and customer service and student organizations have given me the ability to connect with diverse groups and address real life challenges that students face. What motivates me is opportunity to create a meaningful change and improve the student life at university campus at University of Manitoba.
Excellent. Thank you. And our second question, I know you're the only candidate running for this position, but what makes you the ideal candidate for this position?
Well, I bring a strong combination of leadership experience and problem-solving skills and deep commitment to student well-being. As a president of University of Manitoba Sikh Student Association and secretary of Punjabi Student Association (PSA), I have successfully organized student initiatives and built meaningful connections within university and ensure that underrepresented student groups have strong voice. And through these roles, I have gained experience in advocacy and event coordinations. And I bring strong combination of these leadership skills from my background. And one of the common problems I've seen is like I've seen most of like people members of my own community returning to university in their late 30s and 40s seek better career opportunities, but they face barriers like financial stress, financial constraints, limited class availability, and lack of flexible academic options, including evening and weekends courses schedules, which are not easily accessible to them because they are part-time. So I want to establish networking and mentorship opportunities in order to help mature students connect with their peers and professional in their industries.
Thank you. Our third question is, what is the main pillar of your platform?
Well, accessibility, I would say, would accessibility for part-time mature students would be they often struggle with the accessing campus services and academic support and financial aid due to time constraints and limited resources. My platform would focus ensuring extended service hours, more flexible course options, and evening and weekend schedule of classes, and also providing financial aid opportunities specifically designed for them. My goal is to create a campus environment where all students, regardless of their schedules, feel supported and included.
Thank you. And our fourth question that we're asking each and every candidate is, why are you running in this election? What reason or reasons have compelled you to place your name on the ballot?
Well, I'm running because I believe student leadership should be about action and accountability. Part-time and mature students make up an important part of our university and community, yet often feel disconnected cause of like disconnected from student life. And I want to change that by ensuring they have a strong advocate at UMSU, someone who will push their policies and making their student life easier at university, whether it's through better academic flexibility, financial assistance, or community building initiatives.
Thank you. And our second last question is, how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? So if you are elected to this position, which it seems like that will be the case, you are the only candidate running in this position. A year from now, reflecting back on your term, what 3 words would you like to be utilized to define your term in office?
So I would say impactful, result-driven, and inclusive.
Excellent. And our last question here, which is kind of similar, is how would you like the UMSU Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? Evidently, if elected to this position, you would be a board of director, a member yourself, and you'd likely be working with other board of directors. So collectively as a whole, the UMSU Board of Governors, how would you like that governing body to be defined using 3 words?
So I would say being transparent and accountable of your roles and duties, and I would say student focused.
So I'm here with Damilola, who's running for the position of Black Students Representative in the upcoming UMSU annual general election. And so the first question, the first of 6 questions that we're asking each and every candidate is as follows. For those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
Lovely. Well, like I mentioned, my name is Damnula Ojo, and I am a student at the University of Manitoba studying economics and management. It's always been a passion of mine to work in the business aspects of the world. It's always been a passion of mine to work in the business industry when it comes to marketing, supply chain, all of that stuff. It's always been an interest for me. And could you repeat the question again?
Yeah, just I mean, really, who are you? What are your passions? What
Oh,
motivates you for voters, students that that don't know you? Just describe yourself generally. Who are you? What are your interests and what motivates you each day to wake up?
yes. So, one of what motivates me to wake up every day is the 3 pillars in life. I call them peace, passion, and purpose. Those are the 3 things that guide me both in my academic, my personal, and now in my advocacy journey here at the University of Manitoba. I believe that without defining what your purpose is in life, you're kind of a little bit lost. So, being able to take that time to find out what fuels you, what drives you, makes it a lot more easier to connect with students and explain to them why you are a perfect candidate for whatever position you're running for, or even a job, to whatever kind of job you're applying for. Being able to stand in your purpose and realize it, that's where you see the passion and the drive comes into play. A few other interests of mine, I'm really interested in Lord, what am I interested in? Sorry. I feel like I read the questions, but I didn't. Okay, I'll stick with that. I'll stick with that.
So okay, no, it's a good answer there. So our second question that we're asking each and every candidate is, what makes you in particular the ideal candidate for this position?
Of course. Um, a few things that I'll mention is this is my second time running for this position. I would technically almost call it my third. The first time I ran for the position was an intern position. I got that, thankfully. Like a few months after just getting that position, I was thrown into the 2024 elections. Thankfully, I also won that. And then now I'm also here for the 2025 elections. And to me, that shows the dedication, the motivation, and the passion that I have to serve my community, because it has not been an easy journey at all. And I definitely do believe that my work here at the university is not complete. If it was, I think I would have some sort of satisfaction to not run again, because it's definitely not an easy thing to, one, run in elections, and two, sit as the Black student rep or even any rep or any positions on the Umsu board of directors. So the dedication and that drive is what has been fueling me I also believe that there is still a lot of work to be done, because the Black student rep position is fairly new. I want to say between 2 to 3 years, and we haven't fully established ourselves. So I want to leave the university with the same legacy that I left my high school, advocating for Black students and making sure that our voice is heard, matter if it's internally or externally. I just want to make sure that that foundation is built and secured for whoever in the future is going to come and take over my position.
Thank you. And our third question is, what is the main pillar of your platform?
Of course. My main pillar, funny enough, would actually be peace, passion, and purpose. I know I'm saying that all over again, but it was the same. It was the same 3 pillars that I ran with last election, and it's something that I use on my daily. But translating that into one of my missions would actually be resource advocacy, and then also academic. Sorry, one second. Yeah, resource expansion. Sorry, and academic advocacy. So for me, this means more of a push Black focused academic programming. I am so impressed and I admire the way different faculties have subdivisions of, Black students in that faculty. I would love to see more of a push for more faculties to do that. And then also a collaboration with a majority of us to work on what's it called, Black focused academic programming, because being in a space where it's not just, you're not just going there for an activity, you're usually going there to learn something in regards to your faculty. So I love that idea, and I would really want to hone in on pushing more faculties to do that for students, and then we can all collaborate in one big way.
Thank you. Our next question is, why are you running in this election? What reason or reasons, plural, have compelled you to step forward and put your name on a ballot and seek public office?
Yes. I feel like the one and only reason I'm running is I feel like I have not done enough. I know that the 2024-2025 academic year, actually, we're still in that year. The 2023-2024 academic year was a little bit of a tricky one, just in terms of, what I could do in my position. I always feel like a year is not enough. So that is my main reason for wanting to run again. I just don't feel like I've completed all my missions and values. And I would really, really love to hear students' opinions on what they think is necessary in this upcoming year, because maybe my vision and my mission of things have changed versus students' perspective. So I really, really want to employ students to come speak to me, hear what I have to say, and I would love to hear what you have to say, so we can make this year 10 times better 10 times better than last year together.
Thank you. Our second last question is, how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? So if you were reelected to this position a year from now, reflecting back on your term, what 3 words would you like to define and exemplify your term?
Yes. One would be strengthening. Do you want me to give a explanation after, or just the 3 words?
Well, whatever you feel is required or needed. You don't have to, but if you think it's necessary, then by all means, state what you think is necessary.
Okay, perfect. My 3 words to describe my vision for 2025-2026 is 1, strengthening, which means just building on the foundation that we already have and the foundation that I've already sort of in some way created as the Black student rep. 2 would be, it's not really just a word, but it's going to be Black excellence, because there's so much Black excellence, not just only at the university, but also in Winnipeg and also in Manitoba. And I love the way that during Black History Month, we're always celebrating each other, but I would love for there to be more of a Black excellence all year round. So that would be my second one. And then my last one, I would probably just say joy. I want to see Black students feel joy. I want to see our faculty feel joy. And I want us to all just understand that joy, things like peace, are the leading factors in working well with each other without, too much discourse. So joy would be my last word.
Thank you. And our last question, which is kind of similar, would be how would you like the UMSU board of directors to be defined using 3 words? So as a whole, all the board members, the governing body there, UMSU board of directors, what 3 words would you like to define that governing body?
Yes. My first word would be peaceful, because sitting on a board of that many people, everyone always has different opinions. And I've definitely seen you at these meetings too, so I know you hear what's going on.
I do, yeah.
But peace would actually be my first word, because we all have very, very different opinions, and lots of different troubling matters come to the board and we speak about it. So I would really love if we all speak and guide our questions, our words, our thoughts from a place of peace and conflict resolution. So you said 3 words, right?
Yeah, 3.
Okay. That would be my first word. Second word would be collaboration. I know that a lot of faculties do work together, a lot of community reps do work together. I just believe I would like to see a little bit more of that this year, actually. Me, myself included, I will say. 2024, or I don't know, I keep saying 2024. I'm sorry. It is 2024, 2025 academic year. Okay. Collaboration would be my second word, actually, because lots of faculties and community reps work together, but I would just like to see a little bit more of that, me, myself included, during the 2024-2025 year. I definitely think that when we look at resource expansion and, the focus on Black and the emphasis, on Black focused academic programming, that my vision on that is working with different faculties. So I would love to bring more faculties towards Black students in general, and then vice versa. And then my last word would be, sorry, I really didn't think about this one. And my last word would be diversity. We're already a pretty diverse board, but I would love to see people who are on the board for the first time. I know a lot of people have been there for a few years, but I think new and fresh faces definitely will bring new and fresh ideas to the university, and hopefully to serve the student body the way that they rightfully deserve. So diversity would also be my last word.
I am here with Temi, who is running for the Black Student Representative in the upcoming UMSU annual general election. So the first question is, for those that don't know you, how would you describe yourself? Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
Okay, so like Milan, is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
Okay, like Milan said, my name is Timmy. Full name Timmy Luluwayewale. I'm 20 years old. I'm Christian. I'm very African. I grew up in Nigeria. And I have great pride in the Yoruba culture. So I love meeting people, talking to them, and hearing about their experiences. I'd say I'm an ambitious person and I'm a doer. So I love doing things and trying new things. And that's why I often go exploring in the city on a whim or sign up for random events, because I believe that I'm an extremely capable person, and whatever I want to do, I set my mind on it and accomplish it. So that's how I live my life, as a doer. And for what I like, so I grew up reading a lot of African literature and listening to all sorts of music, and that fueled my love for reading and the arts. And it also opened my eyes to the injustices faced by people from a young age, because of their religion, their age, their race, and of course their gender. So aside my love for the arts, I'm very passionate about human rights, and that's why I want to be an international lawyer to help those who haven't been given the same opportunities as like the rest of us. So you could say that's my motivation. So like thinking about all the people that I know I can help pushes me to do more and be better. So yeah.
Thank you. And the second question is, what makes you the ideal candidate for this position?
Mm, I would say, okay, I want to start with saying transformation begins when someone wants better. And I have experienced both, like, I have experience and deep understanding of the needs of Black students on campus. And I'd say I'm an ideal candidate because I want better for Black students, like in the University of Manitoba, because our needs are not being met. Like, I've seen the disconnect within the community and how much we're lacking. And I want to transform the community into something we're all proud of. I've had the opportunity to work with other communities and other clubs for the past year where we collectively pushed for meaningful change. And I want to do the same for Black students. And I understand how to bring people together. And I believe I'm driven enough to make things happen. And I also have a proven track record of delivering results. So I'd say that's what makes me an ideal candidate, like wanting to transform the Black community within campus.
And the next question is, what is the main pillar of your platform in this upcoming election?
The main pillar is definitely community, because like when we build strong networks of support, I would say we create real opportunities for success. And I've seen and lived it. And my focus is basically on amplifying the voices and presence of Black students so they actually cater to our needs. I want to organize impactful events that celebrates us, and I want to advocate for Black-owned businesses as well, owned by students. It's all about making sure that every Black person, so that means every Black man, woman, persons that identify under the LGBTQI+2 community, every Black person with a disability, Black Christians, Muslims, atheists, Black international students, Black citizens, Black student moms and dads, and our future Black engineers, lawyers, teachers, social workers, and the careers in between. I want to make sure that every single Black person is feels like they're seen and supported and celebrated in school. So yeah.
The next question is that we're going to ask all candidates is, why are you running in this election?
I'm personally running because I believe representation matters. And I believe that Black students deserve more than just a seat at the table. Like, we deserve a voice that speaks up for us, pushes us forward, and delivers results. And I believe I can be that voice. I strongly believe in the power of our community. Like I said earlier, my pillar is community. And I'm strongly committed to making sure that we have the resources, opportunities, and support we need to thrive. So there really needs to be change and action happening. And as a member of the community myself, I'd love to see more mental health resources catered for Black people, more community events that include all Black culture and not just caters to a certain group of Black people. And I believe there's a divide in like the Black community as a whole. So I genuinely believe like those events would do a lot of impact. I'd also love to see more collaborative events with other student clubs and external groups. And like there's beautiful work being done like outside of school by Black people. And I'd love to bring that to school to impact other students for the better. And that's why I decided to run for Black student rep.
And the second last question, how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words?
3 words. I'll start off with impact, transformation, and advocacy.
Thank you. And the last question, how would you like the Umsu Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words?
Accountability, inclusivity, and supportive or support. Yeah, those 3 words for sure.
I'm here with Deb Karn, who's running for the position of Racialized Students Representative in the upcoming Umsu annual general election. So the first question that we're asking each and every candidate is the following. For those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
Okay, so starting off, my name is Devkaran Singh Gehlot. I am a student in the Faculty of Architecture third year. By profession, I am a realtor and I also run a social media marketing agency. A deep motivation of mine, like what I actually like essentially believe is, everyone gets up every day and like gets to do what they do, like job, school, and everything, but they have like a motivation or like something to look up to that they want to achieve in life, right? Like whether that's like something consciously or unconscious, right? Like deep down within themselves. For me, that one motivation is bringing change and having like a positive impact on people's lives. And honestly, like I've realized that it's unconsciously everything like I see, right, in every aspect of my life. Starting with architecture, best part I find about that is helping people build spaces where like the most meaningful memories will be stored and having an impact and say in that. And like moving on with the social media marketing agency, we've been helping like a lot of small local businesses scale and succeed. And just like seeing that in the community like really like fulfills me in every way, like helping businesses succeed and get to where they want to. And also from like you would expect, like since I'm a baptized Sikh, as you know, we did the interview last time, right? So I also, of course, I do community service and just been involved in my religious circle for like a couple of years, like 4 or 5 years. And from that, what I've actually realized is that like a lot of the times what needs to be done isn't really hard or like complicated. It's just that there's no one to take action and no one that wants to lead. Like a lot of people, they want to like go behind someone and like follow them, but they don't have what it takes. Like they don't have the courage to actually lead people and be the first one to say it. So that's like what I like, that's like my main motivation. I'm not passionate to like actually lead people and take action where like it's needed and it's not like happening.
Thank you. So our second question here is, what makes you the ideal candidate for this position?
So what makes me the ideal candidate is because I have the right mindset to get things done. I don't believe in empty promises and inaction, as I like said before, and just being like, I wouldn't say average, but just being like, just doing the minimum. Like, I don't believe in that. I want to go up above and beyond and, like truly like leave an impact, like whether that's through my work or my studies. I bring professional experience as a realtor and a social media marketer. And from being in community circles, like I have policy knowledge and a deep understanding of the struggles that students of color face. And as you know, like I am a student of color myself, and like we went over like what struggles I've faced, like in my academic life in general, like so, like starting off like with the Kirpan, for example. So like something I want to do as this rep is actually like so for example, like like a student comes in and he sees a kirpan. So I don't want the first thing that they do is go to like a peace officer or call security. I want there to be a resource, and I will build a resource where they can go and they can ask, or they can just like search up anything, right, like of that sort, and it'll just all be featured, and the like all the resources will be there for them to learn and be aware about like all the different people that attend university. And I will not let this position be a passive seat at the table. I will make sure it accomplishes what it's supposed to and does beyond that. From housing to policy to representation, like, the experience, the strategy, and just driving ideas into action, like everything. Like I've built like a couple of ideas, and I'm already like starting to, like reach out to people to see how we can get that going. And like you see, like before I didn't really know like that this position actually even existed on campus. Like it's actually, I just found it out like this year, and I think that's like that says a lot, because it's actually like a really like like impactful position. Like there's so many racialized students on campus, and just the position not being where it should be is like is below like university standards in my opinion. Like it can be way more than what it is right now. Students need like real advocacy and support systems, not just symbolic representation. And that is why I am their ideal candidate.
Thank you. Our third question is, what is the main pillar of your platform?
So my main pillar is I'm not here to raise awareness and like just leave it at that, even though that is very important, raising awareness. But I think the follow process is like, like implementing changes where it's at. So some of the stuff that I will do as the rep is that, so first of all, since I am a realtor and like I'm in the profession, I will build and make a housing crisis scholarship, because I know a lot of students face accommodation issues when they come from like different countries. Like a lot of the students I know personally, they're being exploited as well, but they have no choice. They just have to comply, and they can't really, like complain, because then they don't have a space to live and they have to choose between rent and tuition. And I don't want that. I want every student to have, like just like every necessity like filled, and they can also focus on studies as well, and they don't have to choose between the either. And the second thing I want to do is, like, from my platform as a social media marketer, I want to, like, whether that's through like a podcast or like something like, like anything media sort, like amplifying voices, like amplifying whatever experiences of discrimination or issues that the students face, whether they're like, and like any like racialized students and communities, whatever issues they face, I want to vocalize that and not let their voice be unheard. Because as you know, you're an editor in a newspaper, and it's so important for voices to be heard. It leaves a really big impact.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, enforcing policy transformation. So, like, essentially, I want equality to be the core principle of university values as a whole. So I will make a task force that is comprised of like different, like community members of different students, and they will all work together directly with the university to enforce that equality is the core principle that every policy is built on.
Mm-hmm. And so our fourth question, which you kind of touched on already, but we're going to ask each and every candidate the exact full question here, is why are you running in this election? What's the reason or the reasons that have compelled you to put your name on the ballot?
For sure. So beside what I already said, honestly, a really big thing for me is I feel like this role needs to be redefined. Like right now, like if you think about it, what a racialized student sort of like this, what this position does is is it like a vague and diluted term. It just gets together Black, Indigenous, or Brown, or any people of color, and just like sums them up together. It just makes a white versus a non-white perspective. Like it doesn't have to be like that. Like every student, whether they're Black or Brown, they each have unique like culture experiences, and it just can't be diluted and just summed up in one term. So I want to address like every student's, every community's needs and struggles without mashing it into just like one, like just one thing. And also, I know a lot of students, and they would just like come up to me and they said, they don't want to be coined as racialized. They just want to be Black or Brown, or just want to be their respective culture without being just like pushed into one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm running to make sure this position is about helping the students at the ground level and bringing a change that lasts permanently. And to be concise about that, no more like surface level things. I want like real change.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And so the fifth question, our second last question here, is how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? If you were elected to this position a year from now, reflecting back on your term, what 3 words would you like to be used to define your term?
Since I said like permanent change, of course, that's like a really bold term, and I need to do a lot for that to happen. So what 3 words that I would like to be defined as like my term is unique, relentless, and impactful.
Thank you. And so our last question here, which is somewhat similar, would be how would you like the Umsu Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? So not just your term, but all the Board of Directors as a whole. How would you like that Umsu Board of Directors, the governing body, to be defined using 3 words?
Accountable, fearless, and student-oriented.
Patricia, I understand that you are running for the racialized students representative for Umsu in the upcoming annual general election. And the first question that we're asking each candidate is, for those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
Okay, so, well, my name is Patricia. I'm currently a 3rd-year psychology student at the U of M. I'm originally from the Philippines, but immigrated here when I was younger, so I've lived in Winnipeg my whole life. My passions currently, well, I've eating. I love to eat. I love like connecting with people, eating, trying new foods. That's one of my passions. I like to read, and just like I like to connect with people. I like to talk to everyone. I like to learn about new things. I like to try new things. I find myself very adventurous, so trying new things is just one of my passions. Yeah.
Thank you. The next question is, what makes you the ideal candidate for this position?
Ideal candidate. So that's a very like, whoa question. Like I'm ideal in a way. So what I'd like to think makes me ideal for this position is kind of how my actions right now will affect the future. And in this position, what I can do for the people and like what they come to me with is how it's going to affect them and how it's going to affect their future. So I think that really motivates me and makes me want to put in my best foot forward being in that position. And also, I like to connect with my community. I like to speak with everyone. I like to find new places and people who may like have a concern. And I know a lot of people struggle with voicing their concerns. And that as a community rep, I find that it's important that it's my job to just put those concerns forward and give them that platform where or else they might not feel like they could speak to anyone about it. But I want that to change. I want like people to be able to come up to me and be like, hey, I want to do this. I want this thing to be done. And I was like, hey, let's work on it together. We can collaborate. We can find a way to make that work for you. So and yeah, and also I'm currently in RAIAS, so the Racialized Equity Inclusion Alliance. So on campus, we work with other clubs and community representatives to put forward any initiatives that the racialized communities may feel is important to them and important for the campus. And yeah, so I think that makes me pretty ideal for the position.
Thank you. And our next question is, what is the main pillar of your platform? The main pillar of your platform.
Main pillar, I would say, is connecting the community. I grew up in a place where you just want to make everyone feel welcome and safe and just connect everyone, regardless where they're from, because the campus is very diverse. There's a diverse set of people. We're all similar in some ways, but we're also very different. I just want to be able to bridge a connection with everyone and just especially with since COVID, I feel like there's been such a disconnect with everyone and they're just like in their own little world sometimes. I want to create those little moments where people just find themselves in the community and enjoying their time at the university while they're still here.
Mhm. The next question is, why are you running in this election? What has compelled you to put your name on this ballot?
I wanted to create more education on racialized experiences. I know everyone is kind of like, oh, it's like I guess it's different for everyone. And yeah, it is different for everyone, but I really want to hone in on experiences where people may not it may be like not bad, but it's different for them and they don't know how to deal with it. And I want to create like education for that and also want people to be proud of where they come from and who they are. And yeah, just make an experience on campus, on and off campus to be more enjoyable and like really own themselves in a way. Yeah.
Our second last question here is, how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? So once the year is over, if you were elected to this position, what 3 words would you like to define your term?
Enthusiastic. I'm very enthusiastic and passionate about my work, so that's one word. Collaborative, so it's working with the community and getting everyone's opinions, and dedicated. I really am passionate about working with people and making changes and making them happy with the changes. So I'm very dedicated to being in this position. Yeah.
And the final question, which is somewhat similar, would be, how would you like the Umsu Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? So evidently, if you're elected into this position, there will be a certain level of collaboration that would likely be involved with working with all the other representatives. So the Umsu Board of Directors as a whole, if you're elected at the end of the next year, how would you like the Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words?
I'd say strong. I want people to be proud in the people that they elect and believe that we're a strong front of representatives. Attentive, paying attention to the needs of the students, because that's what UMSU's for the students. and just mindful. Like, they know what they're doing. I want the students to trust the Umsu board of directors that they know what they're doing and it's in the best interest of everyone.
So I'm here with Simreen, who is running for the position of Racialized Students Rep for the upcoming Umsu annual general election. So Simreen, we're asking each candidate 6 questions, and the first question is, for those that don't know you, describe yourself. Who are you? What are your passions? And what motivates you?
Yeah, of course. Well, I'm Simreen Shahi, and I'm running for Racialized Student Rep for the Umsu Board elections for 2025, 2026. I'm studying business at the Asper School of Business here at U of M. I'm a first-year student. So I like to think that my experience really does span, like it expands across multiple different industries and roles. I feel like I've always been so experimental. I mean, I've had experience in healthcare and I have experience in management operations and fashion, like completely different things. So my experience really does span across a lot of different industries. I've done some teaching, I've done some independent e-commerce, music, pretty much everything. I've volunteered across different industries as well and for different causes. I mean, I have experience volunteering with provincial elections, but I've also volunteered for the Main Street Project, Winnipeg Harvest, Manitoba Harvest. Also spent a lot of time volunteering at nursing homes. So I've really tried my best over the past couple of years to be involved as much as I can. Another thing about me would probably be I've been dedicated to one single sport my entire life, which is tennis. I've competed and played for over 10 years. So my professional career has pretty much been a roller coaster just because of the inconsistency of my choices with what I want to do. But I think that's something that has been consistent my entire life, has been my passion for giving back. I mean, I'm very grateful for the life I have and for everything I have and for the life I live. And growing up, I've always just been taught to give back. I think that's one of the most important things you could do as a person, and a little goes a long way. And I honestly think I'm motivated by everything around me, whether that be in a negative sense or a positive sense. I mean, there's so much fixing to do in our world, and I could probably look around this room and be like, I need to fix that. And that's what motivates me. And it's the same with good things. There's so much beauty in our world, so much good, so much love for people to give out. So that's another motivation. Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Yep. So our second question that we're asking each and every candidate is what makes you in particular the ideal candidate for this position?
I think I'm the ideal candidate for this position for a few reasons. I think that running for racialized student rep, you have to be compassionate. You have to be sensitive to people's problems. You have to have that sense of perspective and that sense of understanding with people. I've had the privilege of working with people from different age groups. I've worked at nursing homes. A couple of years ago, I went to visit this place where my parents grew up and my grandparents grew up. I had the privilege of working with underprivileged kids there. And I mean, that gives you so much perspective. You are exposed to so much potential. These kids have so much potential, but unfortunately, they're held back in countries like Canada, unfortunately, due to the growing racism. And that causes people to lose the self-identity. And I like to believe that I'm someone who can understand these people just because of my background, because of my experiences, and because of experiences I've had. I believe that I can relate to people as well in a lot of different ways, and I can cater to people in a way that a lot of people can't, which is honestly a blessing. And I feel like I am able to make people's life easier just by relating to them and catering to them in that sense. Yeah.
Thank you. Our next question here is, what is the main pillar of your platform?
So I did read this question, and unfortunately I could not come up with just one pillar. So I'd like to talk about two, which are interconnected in a lot of ways. One of my main pillars would be representation and intersectionality. So these are the two pillars. intersectionality is basically just this interconnected system in the social class, and it's just categorizing people from different races and genders and backgrounds and how they're interconnected in our society. And as far as representation goes, I feel like this role will really allow me to represent people like me, even if they don't look like me. As long as they belong to a minority group, I feel like that's already a step ahead. And as far as intersectionality goes, on campus, we have so many people from so many different groups, so many different backgrounds, so many different classes. And I feel like everyone should be given an opportunity to voice their opinions, talk about themselves, talk about what they like and they don't like, and what the Umsu board could do better. And they can, and I wanted to make it so that these people are able to voice these opinions without feeling judged. This is why I kind of chose these two pillars for my campaign. I hope that answers your question.
Yep, thank you. Our second, or rather our third last question here is, why are you running in this election? What reason or reasons have compelled you to come forward and place your name on a ballot in this upcoming election?
Right. So tying back into something I mentioned already is that I'm very passionate about giving back, and this role, it'll not only allow me to give back, but it'll also allow me to voice minority groups on campus. I mean, Umsu's been doing an amazing job, but I feel like there's a lot we can better. And I want to put these groups on a pedestal, give them a chance to speak about themselves, their experiences, any issues they've had with professors, class, students, whatever it is. And I'm running so I can deal with these issues, not only like with the board and represent these people on the board, but also so I can deal with them on a personal level. One thing about me is that I will deal with things and deal with people one-on-one. And that's just how I function. That's just how I work. And I want to be able to do that through this role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Next question is, how would you like your term to be defined in 3 words? So if you are elected into this position a year from now, reflecting back on your term, if you are elected, what 3 words would you like to exemplify or define your term?
Right. One of the main ones would be transformative. It's not just empty words. I don't want to just be saying things that I'm not going to do. I genuinely want to make a difference and transform student experience at U of M. One of my other words would be inclusive, which I've already spoken about a lot when I talked about representation and intersectionality. But inclusive, I feel like with this position, dealing with different people, different backgrounds one-on-one, will really, really help exemplify my beliefs in the Umsu board. I'm not sure if this is appropriate in the sense that my third word would be unapologetic. I can elaborate more on that, but I want people to be able to embrace their cultures, their races, everything unapologetically without feeling like they're gonna be judged for it. That's a huge, like, obviously I can't change the way everyone at U of M thinks, but as long as I can help a couple people feel better about themselves, about their race, about who they are, I'll consider my job done. So
yeah, thank you. And so our last question here, kind of similar to the one I just posed, but how would you like the Umsu Board of Directors to be defined using 3 words? So evidently, if you're elected to this position, you'd be a board member, you'd be working with other board of directors. So collectively as a whole, the Umsu Board of Directors, how would you like that governing body to be defined using 3 words a year from now?
So I would honestly like any board and any government body to be defined as so, but it would be diverse. I feel like diversity brings in more perspective, and that perspective brings in more inclusion, which is the end goal, is to make everyone, all the union members feel included, right? Another would be impactful. I am hoping that the year, sorry, give me one sec. So I'm hoping that the Umsu board is able to live up to the promises they make and actually make an impact. And another would be progressive. Sorry, I'm just getting a call over number. Another would be progressive. just forward thinking. I'm hoping that the Umsu board is able to drive meaningful change, and it reflects all the decision, the dedication, and breaks down barriers and breaks down like all the outdated systems. I feel like it's important that we're moving forward rather than moving backwards. So we're able to create more of an inclusive and equitable environment, if that makes sense.